You all, we are not licensed professionals. You know, we are just here on this roller coaster called life, trying to be better friends to one another, trying to be better human beings on this planet. If you're tuning in, we are not opting out of therapy. We are not advocating that you listen to us and not see someone who is licensed and trained to help you with day-to-day life on how to cope and deal. So we advocate for therapy a lot here. We believe that everyone has something to talk to somebody about. So, just like to make that disclaimer that we're just here giving our opinions and having discussions week by week. And we're hoping that, you know, maybe you can find something useful, or if at least find a little humor in this terrible, terrible rock we call the world.
In other words, if you listen to our advice and you get popped in the mouth, don't at us.
Yeah, don't at me because you may get popped in the mouth again.
Autobots.
Maximals.
Roll out.
Roll out.
You still fucked it up.
You gotta do 1, 2, 3.
I say roll out. You say maximize.
Okay, come on.
Okay. All right. Whew. Autobots. Hello and welcome to another episode of
Do it one more time.
Oh my God.
You ain't even count off. This how you be hanging up the goddamn phone. You don't even do no count off. You was just like, all right, we're gonna do Autobots.
This is my fault.
Come on, I'm ready.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Autobots.
Maximals.
Roll out.
Maximum.
It took so long to do that simple bit. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Friendship University podcast.
Ooh,
we're in shambles.
Yeah, always.
I'm in shambles, and I'm joined by my co-host in shambles.
In shambles, always and forever. Yeah, y'all already know what it is. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, welcome to the newbies. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome everyone. We had to give a tribute to the movie we saw. That's actually going to be an indicator of what we'll be talking about this week. But you know how we do. We just be here. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm. Have I ever said I'm good on this podcast before? I feel like I've always been like, I'm in shambles. Oh, I'm dying. The world is ending.
Yeah.
So maybe this is my first time saying I'm good.
Okay.
Honestly, outside of seeing the movie, I guess I didn't really have a tremendously, complex weekend. I just kind of like chilled, but no, I'm doing good. Things are good. Stable for the most part. A lot of weight has been lifted off of my spinal cord, metaphorically speaking, and a little physically speaking, because I got a massage the other day. My massage therapist, my new massage therapist, super cool. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, honestly. I unfortunately don't have a lot to report, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah.
It could be a bunch of bad stuff, but it's just a bunch of nothing. All good in my hood. How are you, friend?
You got a vacation coming up.
Oh yeah, I'm going on vacation. I'll tell y'all. I guess by the time this episode comes out, I'll be back.
You have to tell them that you're just going on a vacation,
I'm
honey.
going on a vacation.
A true vacation to relax.
I mean, is a vacation you have to drive to really a vacation?
I mean, if you have to go to an airport and get on an airplane.
But that's not me doing anything. I need a Tesla that'll drive for me. That's what I need.
No. The self-driving is just...
Yeah, for it. Are you not pro self-driving?
No, I just feel like some things don't need to be automated in that way.
Have you seen Atlanta drivers? I feel like we need a little automation around here.
I just feel like even when you think about it, they've already been kind of weaning their way towards that, for lack of better terms. Our cars have these auto stop things, the auto lock brakes, the indicators on the side to tell you who's coming up. And like the amount of times I see auto lock brakes failing, I got a recall on my car because they were like, your auto lock brakes will fail So because it's supposed to stop when it gets to a certain meter behind another vehicle. No, ma'am, that doesn't work.
It said go. It's just like, fuck it.
Floor it. Actually, is probably what it said. So I don't know. I mean, in some instances, but not long term. Not in a sense of I'm gonna go to sleep. Or I'm gonna get on my phone, or I'm gonna eat something, or I'm gonna like not pay attention to the road, and but it being used as a form of what is that? Cruise control? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Like
a convenience kind of thing.
Convenience where you do cruise control and you just kind of sit back, but you're still aware in a sense where you can kind of take control of the vehicle. But some people just. I mean, didn't they do tests where people were doing the cabs and they were crashing?
Yeah, they still ran them over. Honestly, all I need is a Tesla that's going autopilot to hit me, and I live fair. Without any severe damages to my body.
Excellent.
I almost called him Jeff Bezos, the other billionaire. He will give me money. But no, I agree. I'm definitely like pro like. More like convenient smart driving features like the blind spot stuff and like lane keeping assist, but like full blown like I can just play on TikTok or play Angry Birds when my car is driving me. No, I'm
fair.
good.
I feel like you like to be in control too, so I don't think you would actually really utilize that feature. Not for long term.
Like I'm going on a road trip for my vacation allegedly, and my friend's coming with me or a mutual friend, and like they think they're gonna drive, but there's a good chance they'll never touch that wheel.
They'll never get behind the wheel.
We'll see though,
and that's fine.
I mean, if I'm going to trust anybody though, it is going to be them. Like they do the speed limit. I feel safe when they drive
below the speed limit.
Below the speed limit, they do below the speed limit, which I mean, can't complain too much about that. Keeps me alive. It's kept me out of jail. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I do like control, especially when it comes to vehicle things. Yeah. If I'm going to perish, I want to be by my own hands. Okay.
I have my own doing the consequences of
my own actions. Okay.
I get it.
But yeah, how are thou?
I'm good. I too went to the movies. We'll talk about that in a little bit because I'm glad you got an adjustment, because an adjustment you will need after going to this kind of theater.
An experience, I'm gonna say.
It is. Cracking my neck now. Oh, my
back's been fucked up. Let me tell you, baby. I was laying on the couch earlier, and I was like, why do I feel my spine like my disc are connecting to some shit? I don't fucking know what's going on right now.
My back touching my knees. So, it's been a week. It was cool. What did I do last weekend? I went to an Atlanta United game. That was pretty dope. They were playing DC United, which was a really good game. I haven't been to a football / soccer, for whoever out there, game in a really long time. So it was really nice to see that. I took a friend who really enjoys it as well. So we had a really good time. And it ended up turning into a night. You know how, here's the thing. And I don't know if this happens because you get older or what, but you don't really go out that much, and you see those nights where it just kind of keeps going, but it's like natural, and then you're like, oh, this is a great night. Like, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
So that's what ended up happening. We ended up like going to the game, getting dinner, and then we went to this bar. They were doing like Black Goth night, so then all the music was Black Goth, and it was like, it was dope. Like, we danced and had fun, and it was just like, man, I got home super late. And the next day, of course, I was thinking, what the hell was I thinking getting home this late? But it was fun. I don't regret it. Like, I guess that's what it means by things in moderation. Like, you take them, they become more treasurable versus like schematic or like just indoctrinated into who you are when you don't do them often. So it's kind of like when you don't get that dessert that you know isn't the best for you. Every now and then you get it, and it's a delicacy. So
I can't relate to that. Do you have a different example? Because if I want dessert, I'm gonna get it.
That's fair. It's kind of like that. Okay, well, you get massages now more, but it's kind of like those exquisite or luxurious events or experiences that you don't get often. When you get them, they just feel very nice.
Can't relate to that. But if it's something I want, I'm going to get it. I don't care.
It's like a vacation. You don't take a vacation often, but when you take it, it's very
Well, every day can be a vacation
nice.
if you try hard enough.
It can be, but is it?
No, not yet. Unfortunately, no. No, like every day is not a vacation. I'm happy to hear you're doing well. Happy to hear you had a good time. Love to hear that you have friends outside of me that get to go to fun games with you
You
and
don't have to roll your
do
eyes.
exciting things with you. You know, that's really cool. You know, meanwhile, you know, I'm just on the couch doing
You're
the
not,
couch
because
things
let's talk about what you've gone to see. You went to see Spider-Man
by myself.
by yourself.
'Cause I don't have any friends.
You didn't tell anybody. You just went to go see it. You didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to see Spider-Man. Would anyone like to join?" You just went and then was like, "Spider-Man is great," and I'm like, "I've heard." It's funny enough to hear it from you.
Now, I was talking that movie up a lot before it came out.
You
It should have just
were.
been an implied that I was going to just be there opening night. I wasn't there opening night. I was there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now that is a movie I should have saw in our experience that we had. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. As you know, every week we do the friendship things and we talk about friendship. Sometimes we don't talk about friendships. Sometimes we talk about other people's friendships. And sometimes we talk about movies. And today is one of them days.
It's still friendships. It's okay. We'll insert spoiler alert here. This is a spoiler alert episode. So if you have not seen Transformers, please cut it off now because we will be talking about the new Transformers Rise of the Beast film on this episode. Don't say we didn't warn you. Spoilers throughout the whole episode. So
Let's be honest. If you've seen one Transformers movie, you've seen a lot of
you
them.
have,
The
but
human meets the robots. The robots need the item to save the world. They get the item.
As I said, spoiler alert, because it's not the Decepticons, girl. It's a little bit further than deception.
I feel like a lot of people who didn't really know like much about Transformers were very lost.
This is
as to what these people
actually
in
a great
factions were.
film. I will say this is actually a great film because I loved the Transformers television show growing up. Like the animated series was my joint. So this was very reminiscent of that for me.
Same. I grew up on Transformers. Optimus Prime and Batman.
Yeah.
My role models in life.
So, well, for me, I think it was Optimus Prime and Superman. And then a little bit of other things. But, I mean, I liked Batman. I'm not going to get started. We'll talk about Batman one day. He's just so angry. Oh, anyway.
Vengeance, girl. Vengeance will do that
Well,
to you.
heart of your heart. Now you ain't got nobody.
Damn.
You ain't even got Alfred. But anyway, so that's what we're talking about. And this is another Friendship Friday. As you know, you can anticipate episodes from us every Friday, Friendship Fridays. And there may be a time where we take a break. We'll let you know. Because it's the summertime, y'all.
You'll get that.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll let you know. We're gonna keep
You'll
you
at least
posted.
get 2 to 3 a month. We can guarantee you that.
We'll keep you posted. We may be taking a break this summer at some point until the new fall semester starts. Because, y'all, we've just been going like the Energizer Bunny. And we just need a break.
Kristen's holding me hostage, y'all.
I mean,
This podcast was an exception. I was like 2 times a month is great. She's like weekly. I'm like, what?
I never said 2 times a month, though.
I said 2
always
times a
said
month.
weekly.
I suggested do 2 times a month.
And
You're like, no, we're doing it
said
every
weekly.
fucking week until you die.
And there we are. And
I'm never gonna get a break. I'm never gonna get a break. Help.
Glad you understand.
Help me, please.
Don't.
She won't let me stop. Anyway, yeah. So we're talking about Transformers. Rise of the Beast, which is the 7th. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7th live. Well, I guess it's actually the 8th live action Transformers movie because you have Michael Bay's first 6, then Bumblebee the movie, which is 7. So this is now 8.
This is 8.
Again, if you've seen Transformers, you've seen all of them. They all follow very similar plot structures.
They do, but I mean, you can say the same for Marvel. I mean, there are different characters they fight, but let's start off with the experience we saw it in. Come on, tell the people what you forced me into.
I don't hear nothing from you. You had a great time.
Did I?
You did. And you did.
Did you not see the tears coming down my eyes?
No, because I was too busy crying myself. How have you know?
We went to see a film in what's called 4DX.
For those of you who don't know, that is an additional D on top of 3D. For those of you who don't know what 3D is, I don't know what to tell
Look
you.
it up.
Okay, so
Okay.
4DX is essentially Regal's, like, I'm going to call it its premiere service or its premiere theater, but it's an experience where
It's like immersive.
immersive. Like, so your chairs move like a roller coaster to mimic the movements inside of the movie, or to the best of their ability. If there's like water on the screen or like a water scene, it'll spritz water. There's like lighting effects for like, different flashes on the screen.
Air.
I think some 4DXs.
Gunshots.
Gunshots.
Well, the gunshots were like the.
Oh yeah, the air would be, yeah. I was like, no, they were not real gunshots. I know other 4DXs. I think ours is just ghetto, like most things in the city. There are other 4DXs that have like actual aromas, and then like the air is like so sometimes there's like smoke on like a rubber on the like a burning
that
rubber,
nice.
And then I think some have like ones where like the air is like hot. So
that would have been nice. Ours had Axe in it. I don't know what that fragrance was, but I'm just call it Axe.
Tragic.
That's what was spraying out, and I was like, "Wow, this smells like a teenage boy's locker room."
Tragic.
What are we doing?
So yeah, it was quite an experience. It's not my first 4DX experience on paper. It's my first time going to a movie theater specifically for it. I have been to places like Disney related things like Disney World, or back before I knew SeaWorld was like evil. And when I was a child, I went to, the little Shamu, which, side note, I went on a deep dive about the whole name of Shamu the other day. Shamu ain't Shamu, but Shamu is sometimes Shamu, but like Shamu got some cousins who are also Shamu, but they're also named Nancy. It's crazy. But anyway, enough about that.
Nancy Shamu.
Nancy Shamu. All right. So, yeah, no, it was quite an experience. All I know is, so we sat down.
We have no seatbelts. I was promised seatbelts.
I did tell you there were seatbelts. I'm sorry.
I
thought there were seatbelts. I saw seatbelts on TikTok. But like most other things in TikToks, when it comes to movies, they typically lie to me. Side note, you TikTok movie people,
count your days.
Count your days. Because the next time y'all tell me, a movie 10 out of 10, must see, scariest movie ever. It's going to blow your wig back. Every movie that TikTok has ever referred to me has been boo-boo. But anyway, so we sit down. The trailers are going. They don't activate the seats and stuff until the trailers are pretty much done. So we're sitting down. Nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden the lights dim. The screen goes blank for like 5 to 10 seconds. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, the lights go down and you hear, and like everyone's seats move up like 2 to 3 feet, like off the ground.
And everybody breaks themselves.
We were like, what's going on? And then a 2-second Indiana Jones trailer popped up, and everybody whipped left to right in sequence, girl. We were all,
that's what. And from that point,
for the next 2.5 hours,
I knew what I had signed up for. I knew it in my heart. I was like, well, I'm here now. And again, for me, it wasn't my first rodeo either. I've been to Universal, been to Disney World. I feel like I told this story to our mutual friend. I don't think I really conveyed it to you. I think I may have touched on it, but maybe mentally I created an aversion, because the very first time I did go on a 4DX ride, I want to say it was at Universal Studios. I want to say it was the Indiana Jones ride, honestly. I may have been 9, maybe 10. And my glasses flew off.
You told me this, yeah.
Yes, flew off the ride. Flew off my face. We were looking for them. And guess who was blind for a day? Me. My mom had to like find a doctor that I could go to early the next morning and like rush some glasses to me. I had to get like these really huge circular glasses because that's all they had that they could do with my prescription. It was a very terrible experience. I was like, I will never get on a ride like this again.
Little do people know I do this podcast with Velma. You lose them glasses. I can't see without my glasses.
I can't. I honestly cannot. You wear glasses. Our mutual friend wears glasses, but I wear very loosely because you all can still drive. You can still work out, watch movies, watch TV, do things. And y'all say like, oh man, I can see it. I can make it out, but it's much better with my glasses on. I can't make out anything. If I took my glasses off right now, like what I'm looking at in front of me with your office setup, if I took my glasses off, I wouldn't be able to say anything that's on that table.
Ooh. That's crazy.
That's how. But it's fine.
Okay, we'll get you some new eyeballs.
My eyeballs are coming.
Okay, you
They
think rich people wear glasses? No, they just get new eyeballs installed.
They coming from Wish.
Ooh.
So
you might be better off with the glasses.
So 4DX was cool.
Right. So throughout the next 2.5 hours, the chairs and stuff like that would move accordingly. There were numerous parts in the movie where, it was a lot more chill, like people just talking in a room or whatever, so the seats would kind of relax. And then next thing you know, action scene. Okay.
Man, you had to brace yourself.
There was one part towards the end where I knew Kristen caught on to the game, where I saw her grab her cup holders and milliseconds later,
my hands fractured themselves onto them cup holders. I was like, oh, it's coming. I could feel it.
So, yeah. So getting into the movie itself, of course, just to give you a little quick plot synopsis, we're following the story of these two, I'm not going to say, I guess down on their luck is probably the best word I can use. Like, there's one gentleman, his name is Noah. He's, I guess, in his mid-20s, struggling to find a job. He's having family issues. He's a vet. I almost said if I could talk, oh my God. A vet, like a veteran, not a vet doctor. He's looking for a job to support his brother who's having health issues. There's a mom. I think she shows up once or twice and has 2 speaking roles, so she's not important.
Yeah.
And then we're also following
Elena.
I knew her real name. I knew the actress's name, but
Dominique Fishback. Which sidebar, phenomenal. I am a fan. Dominique is really making me a fan. For sure.
Shout out to you, Miss Fishback. Which took me numerous times to stop calling her last name Fishburne. I was like, she played Dolores Fishburne.
Anthony did. I think his name is Anthony Amos. I don't know. Maybe not Amos. Adams. I don't know. The person who played Noah. He did pretty good too.
Yeah. So and she is a archaeologist.
She is. She is
archaeologist, but kind of not.
I was gonna say an archaeologist / anthropologist. She is not licensed. She didn't go to school for it. But if you could bottle up a historian, archaeologist, anthropologist, a museum curator all into one bottle, that's what she is. She's that smart. She knows how to place anything, anywhere, any time period. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're following these two humans who get intertwined in a multiple million-year war with robots. We have our normal faction where everyone's aware of, which are the Autobots, consisting of their leader Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, my next new favorite Transformer, Mirage. Side note, he was voiced by Pete Davidson. Okay, let me find out Pete Davidson can act. Oh well,
don't do that.
I don't know Pete Davidson stuff. I've seen him on Saturday Night Live twice, and that's it. So he played Mirage, really enjoyed him. And then there was RC, who is the female Transformer. I don't know why Transformers have gender, but she is a female Transformer.
She had a female voice. She had a female body. And we don't want to get canceled because we know how you girls like to tussle. It's the Pride Month, but
it's okay. I'm part of the Lega Bigatega.
You know what a female body looks like.
So, and then we also have a few other Transformers who are, as far as the Autobot team goes, not as super important, like Wheeljack and stuff like that. I know who these Transformers are. Big fan. Probably common day people were like, who the fuck is this? Then we also have a lot
of the same voices from various films.
And then we have our villains, who are the Terracons, who are not the Decepticons. Fun fact, but they are not the same team as them. They actually follow what they call. He's basically like the Transformers devil, Unicron. He eats planets. That's all you need to know about him. And then we have our new additions. Well, I guess the Terracons are also new additions, but the more interesting new additions, the Maximals, who are. So in the former, the original series, they're supposed to be the descendants of the Autobots, far in the future. In this one, it seems like they're also that, but it seems like they're not at the same time. I'm very confused about the relationship between the Autobots and them in this universe, but that's going to be their leader, Optimus Primal, who is basically Optimus Prime's, long distance, son. Air Razor, who is the second in command, I believe, who is a giant bird.
She's like an eye in the sky, essentially.
Yeah. Also, side note,
Another
Optimus
fun
Primal's
fact.
an ape. If you didn't catch on to
They're
that.
all yeah, they're all the Maximals are all primates essentially of the world.
Animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all animal like the rulers. So you think about the tigers and the apes and the I don't know what kind of hawk. I don't want to say she was a hawk, but
A bird.
whatever the like big bird is
Right.
in that sector, they're all that.
So yeah, and then the rest of them not super important right now, just because they don't have a lot of speaking lines. But yeah, of course, in our normal fashion, we're gonna talk about the friendships between these multiple different characters, and I figured we can just start with the different
And
factions.
also, Air Razor is voiced by Michelle Yeoh.
I
Everything
actually
Everywhere
did know
All
that,
at
but I
Once.
forgot. Yes, shout out
And
to
I
her.
think one of the characters is voiced by, I forget her name, but she's like the first transgender actor in the like series to voice. Let me look up her name real quick, cause she from Pose and was also in the last show with Michaela Rodriguez. She just voiced the. It was one of the bad guys, so maybe that's why we didn't know. Maybe that's why we didn't pay attention
Did any
to
of them?
it.
I guess one of the bad guys that have some of them had talking roles. I mean, I also remember listening to one of them, but I guess the one that could fly also had like talking roles. I
Yeah,
forgot
so
who that
MJ
was.
Rodriguez, shout out to you too for making history or whatever.
As a giant robot. But yeah, so I figured we can just kind of break it into different factions and then kind of talk about how those different factions kind of
Oh,
intermingle.
yes.
So first off, the humans, which is Noah and then Miss Fishburne, Miss Fishback, School of Fish, Fish of Rock, whatever. So initially, honestly, old boy was just going there to get an item for the Transformers and therefore try to rob her.
So what happened was my boy was trying to do right by his family, trying to get a job. Noah was trying to get a job, and he kept getting turned down because he had a bad rap. Like everybody kept saying he was a good worker. He knew what he was doing. Excellent warrior, but he just wasn't a team player. So he just kept getting turned down for jobs. So he went the, street route. Got what boy? Oh, Toby and Gwine was Toby and Gwine. I forgot his last name, but he's also in it playing a guy. He's from BK, and they opt to steal a vintage car for some money.
Fun fact, that is a Porsche. I forgot the exact model, but I think there's only 50 of them made, hence why it was so valuable.
Yeah, and they said it was just sitting in it was beautiful. It was a beautiful vehicle. I'm not a car person, so I'm not sure exactly what it was, but very gorgeous, sitting in a garage, and Noah was tasked by your boy to steal it. Turns out it was an Autobot.
The VP Davidson himself, Mirage.
So the car turns into an Autobot because there's like a signal sent by Optimus Prime because they found this key that's supposed to unlock all the portals of all the worlds that Unicron wants to eat them because that's how he survives. He eats worlds.
So yeah, Unicron wants the key to travel throughout the universe and eat worlds. The Autobots want the key so they can take their ass off this ghetto ass rock we call her.
They just want to get home.
They want to leave.
And Noah gets caught up because he wants to save his home. So they're fighting. They just end up fighting this parasite Unicron essentially, and they task Noah to go steal the key because he's in the car. And then Mirage brings him on as a friend, which is the first sign of somebody wanting to be somebody's friend.
Right. So, yeah. So, Mirage, he goes to steal Mirage. Turns out Mirage is a robot, can do his own thing, drives himself to where Optimus Prime was like, listen, that key was just activated. I guess it's just circumstantial that this human was inside of you. He literally says you were inside of me. So, Mirage is like, listen, we can have this little human kid just go pick up the key for us.
Because robots can't just
because we can't just walk into the museum because
Yep.
we're huge and we're robots. So we'll have him walk in, grab the key, and then I'll let him sell me because, I'm a very valuable car. He gets the money, and then I'll escape because I'm a robot and I can walk away.
We'll all go home.
And then we can go home. So easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. Meanwhile, in the museum, Miss Fishback was studying this relic because she was catching on that this is not a normal piece of, equipment, whatever.
Yeah, no piece of artifact that they found.
That anyone's found. So she's doing some research. She's she's really connecting the T's and dotting I's or whatever the hell, crossing T's, dotting I's. So that puts the two humans in immediate conflict because one of them is studying it and the other one's trying to steal it from the person studying it. Initially, of course, there was no relationship or friendship to have because you're trying to rob me at my job.
Nobody knows who the other is.
Right.
He didn't even know anybody was
in there. Right. So in the midst of them first meeting, this is where, because the key was activated and it sent off a signal. That's why the Autobots knew about it. Therefore, also Unicron and the Terracons knew about it. So they ended up in the vicinity of the museum, and all chaos breaks out.
Man.
So what should have been an easy, quick little espionage, grab the key, let's get out of here, we're done by morning, turned into let's blow up the entire museum.
Every artifact,
everything destroyed.
Piece of art is just destroyed, and they're just fighting outside.
So we get to our first official fight scene of the movie. So the Autobots of course, go to back up old boy because he has the key. Ultimately, everyone wants the key. No one really cares about the boy.
Nobody at this point
even
cares
Prime
about
is like, I don't really care.
I'm trying to get home.
I need the key.
Where's my key?
Fuck the human.
Okay.
I just need the key. So everyone's chasing after the key, which circumstantially is just in the hands of the humans. So the humans are getting tossed left and right, explosions back and forth. Shit is popping, right? And then in this first scene, we actually get a glimpse of the relationship between the Transformers as well. In most iterations, in most iterations of the comics, as well as other movies and the TV shows, the Transformers, or at least the Autobots, are shown to be kind of like a family, very close, they care about each other. I feel like that was lost in transition when it came to switching to Michael Bay's, where it was just let's just blow everything up and have them be partially racist. So I was really happy to see that they showed off that a little bit more, because unfortunately our ride or die OG, the reason I got my Camaro back in 2016, I think, Bumblebee, unfortunately does perish at the hands of the Terracon leader, Scourge.
So sad.
Stabbed in the chest and then blown up. Right there, in front of Optimus Prime. And so, a few things to note here. One, Optimus Prime, of course, is devastated because he was like, "That's my friend. You just killed my friend."
Yeah.
Like I said, really happy to see they're kind of leaning on the more human aspects of these robots. But also, Prime, you're a Prime. Pick your shit up. Prime was getting his ass whooped left and right. And I was like, that cannot be the same Prime that was fighting Megatron, Starscream, and old boy in the other one.
And so for me, what that noted for me is that sometimes when you go into things with assumptions versus reality or fact, you lose. You set yourself up for failure. You can think. And I think it may have been Floyd Mayweather who said something along the lines of, no matter how the greatest I feel like I am, and I know I'm the greatest, I'ma still train like I'm not the greatest, because I need to be prepared for if I meet someone who is the greatest. And your boy was just out here sitting on a rock. Optimus Prime hadn't been out here fighting, hadn't been doing
stuck
nothing.
On Earth,
and he just knew, I'm Optimus Prime. You're not gonna beat me. Whooped up and down, and your best friend is now dead
trying to save you. So
everybody just perishing.
So the humans and the Autobots get their shit rocked, and then luckily Air Razor comes in. So I guess we skipped out a little bit of the beginning. So the Maximals have been on Earth for a long time now. I think they've actually been on Earth longer than the Autobots.
They're the ones who
it's very vague. It's super vague as far as who came first and why they're there and stuff like that. I mean, we know why they're there, but it's vague as far as the timeline goes.
I would imagine they came after the Autobots, because Maximus Prime knew a key existed.
I mean, Prime didn't know a key was on the planet at all. Of course he knew a key was there. They're the ones who hid it. The Maximals are the ones who hid the key on Earth.
No, I'm saying Optimus Prime, The Autobots knew, Optimus Prime knew a key existed.
Because the key was activated. He didn't know a key existed before. He didn't know it. He knew it existed, just not on Earth. He knew it existed on Earth after.
What I'm saying is he knew that there was a key that existed that was hidden by a group of people, whatever, that could get him home. Because he had been there. He knew that was the only way he could get home.
Yeah, because that's just like how it doesn't matter. TLDR, it's on Earth. So they get their ass handed to them, and at that point, the Autobots and the humans are like, okay, listen, we need that key to keep the world from ending until we can go home. So we scratch your back. We Autobots scratch the humans' back. You scratch ours. Well, you help us get the key.
They get the Tricepticons. What are they?
The Terracons, yeah. So they take the piece of the key. Turns out the key was actually split in half.
Yeah.
So because, like I said, Airraiser, one of the Maximals, comes in. She was like in the area essentially and was like, "Listen, he only has half of it, but if he finds the other half, it's a wrap."
It's a wrap.
So if they get the key, it's gonna bring Unicron to Earth, and he's gonna eat Earths on top of any other planet he could find. And then if the Autobots can get it, they can go home while also protecting Earth. So they decide, listen, little humans, I don't really fucking like you. This is Prime anyway. Optimus really wasn't fucking with the humans. He was like, I don't like you, and I don't want you to come, but you can help us find the key.
It wasn't just, he was just like, anybody will always look out for their own. Which he wasn't wrong. He was like, anybody will always like look out for their own people over somebody else's. And that was true, because your boy Noah was doing some snake shit.
Right. So, they end up banding together. Excuse me, I had to burp a little bit. To go search for the key, begrudgingly against Optimus Prime's like well wishes. That brings them on this jet setting tour to Peru, I believe. Yeah. They end up finding the other half of the key. Chaos ensues yet again. Ultimately, the bad guys end up getting the key.
Just freaking up everybody's land.
Everybody's fucking things up. So they end up getting the key. And at that point, just circumstantially, mind you, keep in mind, it's a Transformers movie. Don't expect the most sound writing in the world, okay? Let's go ahead and just put that out there. So they end up meeting up with the Maximals circumstantially, where the Maximals was like, oh, we were like 5 miles down the road. You just didn't know that. So they meet the Maximals, again, who are like Autobots, but they're, animals. And then initially, yet again, two factions meeting. They're not really fucking with each other immediately. Mind you, the Autobots are coming kind of like guns a-blazing. So the Maximals like, who the hell are you? Why are you here? And then, again, they don't do a lot of explaining as to like how they kind of know each other, but like they're aware of each other to an extent. They're like, oh, I was designed after you. And I'm like, okay, so you know who they are. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And then we get to the end of the movie. And then, of course, big fight scene, Transformers. So as far as the different characters and how they interact, I honestly, until we talked about it this morning, I was like, was anybody in this movie really friends ever? Because, like, Noah and Miss Fishback, they were like this, like they were hanging, like they were talking, and they had a few hearts to hearts and stuff like that during the adventure. But like come end of adventure, she was on her 3rd book tour at this point, and old boy was still trying to find a job. Like they weren't really talking like that when they were done. So I don't think they were ever they were work friends. Had a bond.
I think they could have been work.
They had work friends because they were not. We're not talking after that. We never saw them interact after that.
This is also, I don't know how long after this is where she's like, she discovered whatever. But so what made me think about it was, so we just touched on Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. And if you've ever seen a Transformer film, Bumblebee is his right hand, is Optimus Prime's right hand man. And I think for me, we have seen Bumblebee in distress. We've seen all these things where people die around Optimus Prime and he's saddened. But I think this particular scene was interesting because it looked like despair when Bumblebee got killed. I mean, he even took Bumblebee to he didn't want to let Bumblebee go. He took him to Peru.
They were carrying around that dead body everywhere.
He was carrying around Bumblebee. He was like, is there any way we can bring him back to life? And we've already said, spoiler alert, Bumblebee does come back to life. But he's like putting him, like, what can we do to bring him back to life? Because he just can't let him go. And so for me, it was just like kind of like, man, it's just like this anthropomorphic, like, scene where they're giving these human characteristics to this non-human thing, and you're just like, you think about it like, there are movies where people have right hands. You got Batman and Robin, and you got, Iron Man and Penny, and just all these people who have like these people who they know they can count on and who help them.
Who? I'm sorry,
But
Iron Man and who?
Penny. What's her
Peppa.
name? Pepper, I'm sorry. P-E. I was close. P-E for short.
I just threw me off. I was like, who's Iron Man and Penny? Penny Proud?
Penny, Pepper, Peppa Pig. We know who I'm talking about. You know who Iron Man's down ass bitch is. So, you have these tales where you see these people, but as the story goes on, you see that the story it's not just this development of them being there for one another. They actually do develop feelings. They care about one another, like on a deeper level. So I was like, man, that my dog. Like, Bumblebee was gone. That was his dog. And then he wasn't even on his home planet. So like, Bumblebee was probably like one of the only people that had been down for the ride from the jump, who he could trust. I was like, man, what would it feel like to be away from your home for what were they said? It was like 7 years or something like that. They had been gone. Mm-hmm. All this time, years and years and years. You're in a place that you don't even like. I mean, you don't like it because you refuse to like it, but you refuse to accept that you can't get home. You want to get home. And then the one person who you know for sure feels how you feel, got your back through anything, is just dead.
D did. Shot in front of you. I definitely like how they added, like I said, the emotions back to the Transformers. Honestly, Transformers don't need humans in them. The Transformers are very
always need humans.
They don't. They really don't.
Always need
they really don't.
A human always saves it. Because I'm going to get into the scene where your boy Noah gets into Mirage, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be effing kidding me that he is controlling this robot better than the robot was controlling the robot.
Mm-mm. I will stand 10 toes on you. These movies do not
need
humans.
them all the time. Mm-mm. All the time. So there was that. We had that first scene. Well, I can even go back. I could argue and say Noah does have the brother. He's trying to take care of his family. His brother has
because who needed this plot?
His brother has a chronic disease.
Sickle cell anemia.
Yes, sickle cell anemia. And they have a bond. Like any sibling, a lot of siblings do, but it's a special bond. They relate to each other. They talk to each other freely. They have each other's back. I could argue to say, they're more than siblings. I would think that they were friends for sure. They trusted one another. They made sure each other was good, lifted each other up when they were down. And the brother with sickle cell is much younger, I would imagine, than Noah. He looked like maybe he was 10 or 11. 12. They said it's 13. Did she say 12? They said his age one time in the film. I think he said he's 12 or something like that. I can't remember.
Honestly, anything involving that little boy, I just kind of blocked out of my head. I didn't really care about that.
You're wild.
I said, I came here for robot on robot action. I don't need this little boy who's dying. I have enough of that in every day.
Because you know that's how the plots go. They have to have something to live for. Yes, his mother would have been cool. Yeah, I'm going to save the world because my mom is around. But I'm really saving the world because my younger brother, who hasn't gotten the opportunity to live, can't blow up. He's battling this chronic illness, and he's, knocking it out the park, and we're doing this together. I need to give him an opportunity to, win the battle. So.
And that could have been a whole other movie called My Brother and Me. No. Not Transformers. Rise of the Beast.
It was cumulative speaking, it was probably 20 minutes out of a 2-hour movie.
20 of them minutes.
It was 20 minutes of dialogue between them.
I'm not saying anything against that little boy. He did his thing. It was cute, but if I wanted Brother Bear Part 2, I would have just asked for Brother Bear Part 2. But anyway, so yes, Noah's in it to help his brother. Because he's dying, or not dying, but he's sick of sickle cell anemia. I can relate to that personally. I do not have it. Family members of mine have it. It is a pretty crap ass disease, or illness. So yeah, and then as far as Optimus Prime's relationship with the other Autobots, this is one thing I will say. They definitely heavily focused on certain individuals more than other, of course, as normally. In a 2.5 hour movie about robots and all this other stuff going on, you can't give everyone a moment. So, like,
Right.
I would say Prime didn't really have a chance to, like, show his connection with the, like, RC or
I don't think it was
Wheeljack
there
and stuff
though.
like that.
For me, I don't think they wanted to highlight that because they hadn't never built those connections really. Bumblebee was the only one in this film that had really had that connection built with Optimus Prime. They just want Optimus Prime. We see is like this almost a tyrant of a leader who just wants to get home, for lack of better terms. But I think there was a reason that they were like, we're not gonna do this character development with these other people because it's not necessary. The one person we know he cares about is about to die.
Right. So, again, they didn't really highlight them too much. There's not really much to talk about there. And his relationship with his, I almost called him superior, but that's not correct. His son, basically, Optimus Primal.
I don't even know. You keep calling him his son. I don't think it's his son.
It's okay on paper. No, it's not his son.
I think it's just named after him.
It's his descendant, essentially. Again,
Yeah.
they do some things in the live action movie that messes some things up based on what was established in comics. I get why. It's an adaptation. It's not going to be perfect. Yeah. Like I said a few moments ago, storytelling wise, this movie is not 100% soundproof. There are definitely a hell of plot holes you could put into it. But we're here for blowing up robots. We're here for robots and gorillas. So Optimus Prime and his relationship with his, like I said, descendant son, whatever you want to call it. It honestly, it went from like a split second of like, yo, we don't really trust each other to like, okay, hold on a second. Like, we're on the same page. We think a lot alike. We're in the same battle. We think alike. That definitely became more of like a brotherly kind of thing, even enough where they were like kind of cracking jokes at times too. Yeah. There was one scene where Primal took a kill from Optimus and he was like, that was mine. Like, I was sucking that guy up. Like, what are you doing? I think there's just this level of familiarity between them because they are basically the same person. One's a truck, one's a gorilla.
Which is crazy because we'll get into them maximized later because I was like, what are they going to turn into? But
yeah, so like I said, their initial relationship was a little rocky. I think there was just a lot going on as far as like they're on the same side, but they're like, we've never met before. Even Primal made a little like reference of like, I know who you are, but like you're a little different than I expected.
Oh,
I will defend Prime. I will defend Prime. He was going through it between losing Bumblebee. He really wants to get home. He doesn't like these fucking humans. This is a much different Prime than we normally get, and they write it off in a good sense of like, it's not that he's a bad person. It's a whole plot theme between Noah wanting to do his own thing to protect humans and like protect his people, and Prime wanting to do what he needs to do to protect his people. They end up actually bonding on that and build a little relationship towards the end about that. But Prime blames Optimus Prime, not Primal, because there's two of them.
Yes.
Off the truck. He feels guilty because he was the one who brought them to Earth. Just it's supposed to have been just like a little pit stop kind of thing, but he just feels bad that they've been stuck there for 7 years. Which I mean, I would probably also feel bad. I'm like, hey friends, let's go to like Jamaica for, I don't know, let's stop by Mississippi on our way to California and we're stuck there for 7 years. I probably would also feel bad. I don't know how that would happen, but still
gotta roll with it, right?
So, you know, like I said, between the two Primes initially it was a little rocky, but ultimately they're like, yo, that's kin, like we're the same, like that's bro. So their relationship was probably my favorite. There was reverence
built for sure from the beginning. Optimus Primal,
the gorilla,
had reverence for Optimus Prime. He respected him right off the rip.
Right. So, and then in regards to the Primals, I think they did a much better job, like actually going through their relationships more than the Autobots. Well, actually, I take it back because I have the similar thing where they focus heavily on two of them, and the other two were like, we don't
even know the tiger, lion. We don't know.
We don't know much about them. We know their names. We barely know what they look like when they transform. But they focus on Primal, who is a gorilla, and Air Razor, who is a ambiguous bird of some kind.
I'm gonna say hawk.
Let's go for hawk. So yeah, she's a hawk. Very much like Prime and Bumblebee, like second in command. And I just realized,
or eagle. I'm gonna say eagle.
Maybe an eagle.
Maybe an eagle.
But I just realized that both Prime and Optimus Prime and Primal both lost their
Yep.
like second in command
Yep.
or best friend person.
And it was just like, and to make matters worse, so thinking about Optimus Primal and Air Razor's relationship, because Air Razor kind of comes out of nowhere to the Autobots and is like, hey, I know what's going on. I'm like the last of my kind. You can't do this. This is what has to happen. And I think that's how they end up meeting the Maximals. She takes them to
yeah,
them.
so she kind of
takes
so
them to them.
the story is
a
she
little bit.
knows kind of sort of where so between her and Miss Fishback, they kind of
They know
determine where the other
piece
side of the key is. Circumstantially, that side of the key was like a few miles away from where the Maximals were, so she led them to them on accident.
Yeah.
Like I said, the plot holes. Just don't worry about it.
They didn't even know the other one existed anymore. Like, she thought she was the last.
Right, yeah. She
said
thought the
was
Maximals
last
were
of her.
dead.
She thought everybody was dead. So, we kind of off the rip see kind of like this immediate relationship between Optimus Primal, the gorilla, and Air Razor.
They're like, oh my god, I thought you were
Oh my
gone.
god, I thought you were dead, blah blah blah. And so they are kind of like bonding, and it ends very tough because Optimus Primal has to kill Air Razor because she's overtaken by the opposition.
Right, so she's infected with like a virus, and she's either gonna kill them or he has to kill her. And it's actually really heartbreaking because he has to literally crush her like in his giant gorilla arms.
Yeah, but they have this saying, by any means necessary, or whatever the cost. They say to save the species or to save their kind, whatever the cost. So I don't know. Would you to save mankind? Would you kill your best friend? Any of your best friends?
No. Wait, hold on. Okay, I have a question. What does that mean? The friend gets to live, but humankind dies? Or
yes, everybody except your kind. So, like, let's say you were another species. You were the primal or the maximals, and every other entity dies. You have to sacrifice one person in order for everyone else to live, including,
I mean, in this specific situation, if it was like Primal or if like she was just going to kill me anyway, then yeah, I would probably just have to kill him, honestly. But if we're talking like, Loki versus everybody else, I would pick Loki, absolutely.
Not Loki versus
these people.
Wow. So if Loki was the key to make sure nobody else on the planet died, it would just be you and Loki.
Yep.
You would choose you and Loki. Mm-hmm. And everybody else would just die.
Absolutely. No questions asked. There's no hesitation. Like, I'm not even thinking second. There's no second thought to that. 100%, yes. Humans are shit. Why would I want to protect? The Earth deserves better than to have us around.
That means everybody. Me, our mutual friend, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your
and
cousins,
based on your
aunts.
religion, you'll be in a much better place.
I would.
So if anything, I'm doing y'all a favor.
Are you? Are you setting yourself up for a very, very terrible ending? Because what are you and Loki gonna do?
We can go jet skiing. We can go scuba diving. We can go snowboarding.
With who's flying the plane?
Me. Well, you act like I can't just Google how to fly a plane right now and learn and just go steal a plane somewhere.
Who's working the towers? Everybody's dead.
The internet will be on long enough for me to learn how to fly a plane, I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I can go buy a flight simulator and get an Xbox.
Who's siphoning the fuel for your plane?
I'll figure it all out. I have all the time in the world.
You're going to learn how to fly
gonna stop
a plane.
me? Who going to stop me?
You're going to learn how to siphon the fuel, so you're going to learn how to land. No air traffic control. You're just going to do all of that by yourself.
I'll figure it out. Who going to stop? Who going to check me? The cops?
Good to know. Good to know. I just want you to know, next time you ask me about my God, Loki, your God. My God's my God, Loki, your God. Because that's who you would die for. So,
and would.
That's your belief system.
Mm-hmm. Right there.
So, it was sad. He had to kill
old bird girl. Yeah.
Old bird girl, and sadly, she does not come back to life.
Yes, unlike Bumblebee, she is dead. But now I think about it, why didn't it try to bring her back to life? But
because
anyway.
I guess they couldn't take her to the rock. They didn't have time to take her to the rock. I don't know.
Who knows?
It was just a lie. Only room for one. And Bumblebee had won the hearts of everybody. So
right. So
we have that friendship.
Yes, we do have that friendship. Again, mirroring Optimus and Bumblebee. They're very close, like familiar bond, like where they're like, listen, like we've been through it, okay. But ultimately, Bumblebee does come back, and then as we're having this conversation, it kind of occurred to me that like Miss Fishback didn't really build a relationship with any of the Transformers. Like she didn't have a Transformers buddy. Like she didn't have like the suit of armor like she had. Like Old Boy had.
She just stood on the word of virtue and truth. I would say it was a sense of she was trying to do the most noble thing, which was do whatever she could to save everybody. Like she understood a lot, and it's funny because I really relate to that a lot. A lot of times you will seem like you're getting close to people, and you are getting close to people, but at the end of the day, you have this like bigger scope where it's like, in actuality, sometimes reality tries to say that people have to suffer, but that's not always the case. There can be outcomes where everybody wins. So she was just doing the best she could, doing the best I can with what I got. She was doing the best she could with what she got, and it worked.
She was there for a mission. She wasn't there to make no friends. She's the definition of clock in, clock out.
She was there to make sure that justice prevailed, and whatever justice in the most moral form you could think of it meant, that's what she was there to uphold. Try to get as close to the justice as possible, because she was trying to take your boy Noah out of it, because your boy Noah wanted to do some snake shit with the key, and she was like, it doesn't have to be this way, and Optimus Prime, we can all work together, and we can do this and we can do that. She was a smart cookie. I think her life lessons and her trials and tribulations, plus her brains, like her actual intellect, aided in her being able to come to the conclusion that everybody could win. Essentially, we just have to believe everybody can win, which is true. Everybody did. If it wouldn't have been for her saying everybody could win and I'll do this, there would have been nobody. Everybody would have died. It would have just been Unicron, and this nigga would have been eating up everything, and he would have been the parasite, black hole, eating up everybody. Everybody would have gone, you Loki, everybody.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely did her thing. She definitely typed in that code. She definitely did the thing. Relationship wise, like I said before, she didn't really develop a strong one really with anybody. Like I said, she was very dedicated to like, this is what I'm here for. This is the mission. Not saying she didn't care or she didn't connect, but really, again, when the mission was over, she was on her book tour and she said, Noah who?
I think she discovered.
Because if she's on her book tour, why is old boy still ain't got no health care? She wasn't fucking with him. She said, I'm out. I'm done. We saved the world.
I think she really did care about Air Razor, though. Because she started going off. When Air Razor was like, first of all, this is what the foreshadowing. There wouldn't have been a movie if we would have did this. They should just let your boy kill Air Razor to begin with. But your boy Optimus Prime was like, no. When Optimus Prime was trying to bop on her because she was acting crazy. But when Air Razor started going crazy and she was just like, she really looked concerned. She was like, oh my God, Air Razor, you okay? She was like, no, fight it. Like, you can fight it. You can do it. You can do it.
And she couldn't.
And she couldn't. She couldn't do it.
And she had to die anyway. So, I mean, shout out to you, Miss Fishback. I enjoyed you in the movie. But of course, obviously, the movie focused on one of the other humans more than the other, and of course, the strongest relationship. Actually, before we even get into that, I guess we could talk about Unicron and his lackeys. TLDR, Unicron's big bad. He has lackeys, and that's it. There's no friendship, no love.
There are people that have dedicated their lives to bringing him this key, bringing him what he wants. And this is what ultimate power with no respect. This is what, like, narcissism actually looks like. Because your boy had people out there willing to die for him. And he would have threw them into the abyss if he had the chance.
Immediately. because he's ultimate evil. Yeah, so Unicron, like I said, he's Transformer Devil. He literally is just pure evil.
Just using you.
So there's not really much to talk about there. Like I said, they're just kind of lackeys. But I did want to focus on, of course, the Shia LaBeouf / Bumblebee relationship of the movie, which is Pete Davidson's Mirage and Noah, who was played by
which is so cute.
I think they had great chemistry.
Very cute.
Better chemistry than I think LaBeouf and Bumblebee ever had.
That's true. They really did. I think.
I guess because he could also talk.
Yeah.
Bumblebee can't talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Bumblebee was only speaking from his like radio thing, but I think it was cute because to start off. So going back a little bit. Noah tries to steal Mirage, and right off the bat, Mirage is like, "No, we boys. Like, we're cool."
Okay.
And he's like, "You're a huge robot. What are you talking about? We're cool." Like, "No, we're not. I don't even know you,
Never
dog."
heard of you.
And then by the end of the movie, Noah is starting to show emotion for Mirage because he's about to die, and Mirage entrusts him to take over his form, his like Autobot form. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, you got to get in my suit and like move.
Okay.
And this is where my quorum comes into play because you're not going to tell me a human in an Autobot suit is stronger than an Autobot in an Autobot suit.
Okay, well, let's talk about it for real though, because like you've been using you're literally you are the Autobot. You are the robot. How are you worse with your own body than someone else is with your body?
Knocking and sliding and slicing and blasting.
It was crazy.
I'm like, so y'all trying to tell me that humans are the superior race? Somebody lying. Anyway, side note, did you see how they had the extraterrestrials out in that person's yard? We'll talk about that.
Huh?
They had the footage with the UFO that landed and the...
Was this in the movie?
No, this is a real life.
What are you talking about? The aliens are here?
The aliens have landed. The aliens
They're
have
here?
landed.
Oh, it's about time. Let's run it.
The aliens have landed. No, somebody's quote unquote Ring doorbell or whatever camera on their property has spotted extraterrestrial activity, UFOs landing.
Gotta be. I believe it.
I forgot what area it was. It wasn't Vegas. Where was it?
Sounds like where the aliens would be.
No, it was like some not random town, but we'll come back to that. But anyway, yes, I just could not believe that this mofo was like slipping and sliding around and kung fu hustling the Unicrons. Like,
it was wild. That you have a good point. I don't understand. The whole movie, Optimus Prime was just getting disrespected every chance he got.
Team was getting their ass
whooped.
They
would have lost if it wasn't for Bumblebee coming back to life and Noah being out there. I'm like, what do you Prime?
But it also, I will say, I think what happened was they started working as a team. Because this is what happens. This is why people jump people. Because I may not be able to take you by myself. But I know if I got the right help, you're going down. You're going to get tired. You're going to get weakened. I can do it. So, and I'm not don't jump nobody. That's real punk ass shit. Don't jump people. But like fight one-on-one if you're going to fight. But when they started fighting, because what ended up happening was when Noah took on Mirage's body, was it Optimus Prime? Somebody came out the woodwork and started fighting with him, and then they just started Y2.
I think it was Prime.
1-2, getting my boy, and then he started getting weak. So work with your friends. If you see your friend, more of the story, you see your friend getting jumped, jump in.
Or don't, because you never know who has a gun. Or do, because ride or die. Or don't, because you have kids at home. Or do, because vengeance. Or don't, because who's trying to get stabbed?
I don't know.
Call the cops.
If I'm getting
Call the
jumped
cops.
and y'all don't
call the
jump in,
cops
I don't
and then
know
maybe
what to
join. Assess the situation.
I can't tell you what I would do if I'm getting jumped and I see my friend standing on the sideline. It really makes me feel about, you probably never seen it, but maybe some of our listeners have seen that episode of Girlfriends where Tony started fighting for a girl who she didn't even like, but she was like, I'm not gonna let you get your ass beat. And Joan was on the sideline. That was supposed to be her girl. She was just standing on the sideline like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm gonna call the cops. No, girl. Now I gotta fight you. Now we all gotta fight. Now I gotta beat you up because you ain't jumping to help me. I was getting jumped. That's crazy. I don't know. I can't tell you how I would feel. Do what you feel like is best, but as for me and mine, I'm probably gonna jump in.
There it is. So yeah, ultimately, Transformers: Rise of the Beast wasn't my favorite Transformers movie. No,
Is it the one with Shadow? Is it the one with Marky Mark?
Absolutely fucking not. Those
That's
are
a
the
lie.
bottom two. No, my favorite one is
it.
Transformers 3, Rise of the Moon, Opposite Side of the Revenge of the Moon, whatever the hell it's called. But it's still up there. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I want to see more of the Primals. There is a very interesting little tidbit at the end that we will leave blank. We will not tell you anything about it.
I mean, we're here now. It's a
You gotta experience it. Just go watch the movie. Stay till the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a credit scene. It's before the credits even happen. Just go ahead and watch it. I'm very excited for the future of the Hasbro cinematic universe. As I guess what they're gonna call it.
Wait.
But yeah, ultimately, a lot of friendship growth. Actually, I take that back because again, come the end of the movie, they all go their separate ways and no one's really talking to each other.
That's not true. Optimus go with his people.
I'm talking about they go back to their factions. And the two humans, old girl, like I said, is on her book tour. She getting that bag. And she said, I know your brother's dying, but I don't really care.
And they do what they need to do.
And they're work friends.
And
we had
you
an episode
also
about that.
have to keep in mind that it's the 90s. They set it back in like 1994. So if things are popping off for me, I may not be able to catch you at the house. I don't have a cell phone or a pager. I may have a pager if I'm lucky or if it's for my job, but
I would say
the
only two people who remain together at the end is Mirage and Noah.
And Bumblebee and Optimus Prime.
Because they all go back to living with the people they know. Noah ain't friends with Prime. They did their work thing and he was out. I'll see you never again.
Bumblebee and Optimus Prime.
Yeah, Bumblebee and Prime, of course, because they're best friends. But ultimately, the staying power of these intermingling friendships don't exist. The Predacons are all dead. The humans aren't talking to the Autobots. The Autobots are not talking to the humans.
So are you saying that you can't go a couple of months without talking to your best friend? Are they no longer your best friend if you go a couple of months without talking to them?
What I'm saying is, hear me out. I hear what you're saying. But let's remember what Noah came. Noah came here to help his brother.
Best friends, but
hear me
friends.
out. No, hear me out. All of those Autobots could have turned into very expensive vehicles and done the same thing Mirage was going to do, but they didn't because they don't care about him. They said, "Fuck your brother."
Mirage has a very unique skill.
Bumblebee is a Camaro who's also very expensive.
But Mirage can clone himself and make himself into a Mirage. And if Bumblebee got at that museum.
Girl,
so I just
let me tell you, if you told me you had the ability to make me an obscene amount of money to help my family member and you don't do it, we're not friends.
He didn't need it anymore. He
didn't get that job until afterwards. Like I said, the Autobots said, "Thank you so much for your help. We will not fuck over your species. We'll see you never again."
He saved them.
Miss Fishback said, "I am a Grammy-nominated archaeologist, and
I
have money." And she said, "I'm not giving you no money." She was on TV talking about, "I found them undiscovered discoverables." And where was Noah still applying at a Dunkin' Donuts security job or whatever?
I think
work friends, nothing but work friends in this movie.
Well, you got to have trust in your work friends because clearly they saved the world. When you go to work,
we had a whole episode about work friends.
You have your work friends and you trust them when you at work.
And then we'll never talk again.
And you don't, you don't have to trust them with your personal life. But at this point, everybody know everybody's personal.
Hopefully, Noah will get some real friends in the spinoff that's coming. Hopefully, he'll make some real friends there because the Autobots are not it. Except for Mirage.
No real friends. He got Mirage. You know your boy LaBeouf.
I would say he had the black guy, but that black guy left him.
Absolutely did.
Noah ain't got no friends. He got his brother. And Mirage, I guess.
And Mirage. That's all he needs.
That's all he needs.
So, at the end of the day, I think it doesn't have to be I think what this symbolizes is we just talked about trust last week. And you don't necessarily have to spend an exorbitant amount of time to build trust or even be best friends with somebody to trust their lives in your hands. Sometimes you come to a point where it's like, I have to trust my own intuition, my own discernment to say, we're going to do this together or it's not going to happen at all. And that's what happened. These people, all these Autobots and humans came together and they were like, well, we're here now. This is the shot. And we got to do this or we ain't nobody surviving.
And then they went their separate ways.
Because that was what else was they were supposed to do? I mean, at the end of the day, they went their separate ways, but they didn't leave Earth.
Because they can't.
I'm saying, though, they're still there.
Because they have no choice.
What were the bots supposed to do? Follow him home? So whole Brooklyn could see them niggas rolling up?
Girl.
And be like, what the fuck are you doing with all these cars? Is that what you wanted? You want my boy Noah to be pulling up, making the block hot? You wanted his block to be hot? You can't be blowing up the spot like that.
The
it
only
was like,
reason
we
that
gonna
Autobots
go
are still on
underground.
Earth is because the key got destroyed and they are stuck.
But he was willing to do it because he was like, I'm willing to just...
He didn't do it for Noah. He did it because it was like, okay, I guess I'll save the fucking humans.
I mean, he could have killed himself and killed everybody else, but... yeah. It is what it is. Go see Transformers: Rise of the Beast
In 4DX.
In 4DX.
It's the only way to see it.
I guess this will be our new adventure / action movie experience.
Well, we were supposed to see Fast and Furious in it, but my two friends wanted to be
Hold
super
on.
slow
Hold
with.
on.
We were supposed to have made it through these movies like
I've been
2
at the
weeks
house.
ago.
I've been at the house.
And every time I'm like, oh, let's run a Fast and Furious.
To who?
Run a Fast and Furious.
To me?
Mm-mm.
Ain't said it to me. Ain't said it to me.
So you gonna lie on this thing? So
I
you
ain't
gonna?
lying. When's the last time you asked me? A week and a half, maybe 2. Before.
Sometimes you just get tired of asking.
Listen, one time.
Wow.
One time I said I didn't feel like watching.
I set a schedule. I set a schedule for us, and we were supposed to have been seeing this movie. Go ahead and lie to our people if you want to.
Why didn't we watch it last week?
What was last week?
Why didn't we watch it last week after the podcast?
What happened last week? Oh, because our mutual friend was dying of allergies.
Is that it?
I don't know. Was it? You let our listeners know. Let them know if you a lie or not. Go ahead and lie. Go ahead and lie to them. I want you to lie to these people right here, right now.
You the one who was yawning, talking about I'm so sleepy.
So you gonna act like she wasn't having? You gonna act like they weren't having no allergy problems? Is that what you gonna do? Go ahead, lie to them.
I didn't say that she didn't have any allergy problems, but you're trying to act like that wasn't why we weren't ending the night as well. Because somebody said they were sleepy. No.
Well, Kristen's a liar. So
I'm a liar. They can run it back. You said it on the podcast. I'm yawning. I'm so tired. We need to wrap up this podcast. Why would I assume that you want to watch a movie after that?
Gotcha. So you're going to say, okay, all right. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Liar Friendship University podcast.
Hey,
we like to have very selective memory here when it's convenient.
Okay. Go ahead, finish.
I don't know why socials, that's your job.
So you want to start the intro, but then you don't want to finish it.
Well, that was an outro.
You want to start the outro then, and you don't want to finish it.
Exactly. Go ahead and finish it.
No, good.
All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Niggas.